In Admin UI, select the drug program and the relevant dataset to which you want to add a decoding file. From the Clinical Study Setup menu, come to Create Mappings to Source Data. From here now we will add the decoding file. Click Add. For the data type, select SAS value decoding information. Enter the file path name. Click OK. You are now presented with the specific mapping table for a decoding file. The decoding file, you need to map your source data column, which corresponds to code group name, the coded value, and the decoded value. Click Confirm to save the mappings. Click Save. The mappings have saved successfully. Click OK. Proceed to review the data setup. Check the radio button for confirming the data is correct. Click Finish. You are presented with the upload message for your dataset. Click Yes. And this takes you back to the home page of Admin UI. You can now, if you view the data load report, we can see that that has mapped and loaded correctly with no errors encountered during the load. However, if you look at the file count, you will see that this is 8. That is correct because the decoding file is not actually included in the count because it doesn't contain any actual data. We can now go back into Admin UI to the clinical setup page and map some decoding information into a data type mapping table. So if I click Create Mappings again, as we've already mapped the demography data, but the source data file now includes coding, we can replace the existing file with the new file by selecting the type of information, clicking Edit Settings. This now gives you the opportunity to change the file name to the appropriate file. Click OK. This presents you with the demography mappings table. You can see that this was already populated with the relevant source data columns before. You must remember when you're mapping some extra information into a table that already has been mapped to ensure that you change the file location and the name as appropriately, and also that so that it picks up the correct source data file. And when you actually make any changes to the mappings in the table, you must again then confirm the mappings are correct and save the mappings to register the changes. We can now, in the decoding information, sex and race are now coded. So in this column, we can now add sex and race, which were the appropriately named code group names in the source file for the decoding file. We can confirm that this is correct, and we can click Save. We can see that the mappings have saved successfully. And we can now go to Review Data Setup. Again, confirm that the check radio button is checked to say that the data is correct. Click Finish. As it's a new file with changes in it, we can now upload our data. Click Yes. This takes us back to our home page. So if we now view the data load report, refresh the page, we can see that the data that we have just mapped has completed successfully without any errors. And you'll notice here that the file count says 8, and again that's correct because we haven't added an additional demography file, we've just made changes to the existing one and reloaded that, so that's correct.